The following feature presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
This is what you can look forward to on episode 253 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
No, I don't have any one story. There's a lot of stories, so it's hard for me to pinpoint one without embarrassing myself.
Major casting news was released this week for the live-action Little Mermaid film.
I'm going to guess no one had a problem with it. Going from Mary Poppins to Ursula, that would be an amazing career trajectory.
I think I just tried my hardest and, stayed after 5 o'clock.
Wow, we should be calling you Dr. Herman.
Are you ready?
Off to Neverland.
Here we go.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
You're more than just fans. You're family.
Best day ever!
Secrets lab.
It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Hey.
When you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
When we visit the world of Disney, we never grow old. It's a Peter Pan, Never Land that keeps us young in heart.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are skywalking through Neverland. I have a good feeling about this.
Hey, Skywalkers! Ever wonder what brought the locals to Black Spire Outpost at Galaxy's Edge? Or have you ever wondered what would happen if you were locked inside of a C-3PO costume and had to pee? Well, if you said yes to both of those, then you've come to the right place, and we want to welcome you to Skywalking Through Neverland. We are your podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, and Marvel fandom. I am Richard Woloski, but now everyone please say hello to my sweetie wife, Sarah.
Hey, Skywalkers! Happy 4th of July! If you're from America, and if not, happy July
Thursday.
4th.
The 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
Yay! But we're wearing our red, white, and blue right now. And if you're watching live on YouTube right now, well, you get the full effect.
Hi, Sky-tubers.
But right now, we want to give you all a big Wookiee hug to our family of Skywalkers. If you are listening or watching right now, you are a Skywalker and you are family. And we want to thank you so much for listening to the show every single week. This episode of Skywalking Through Neverland is proudly sponsored by Small World Vacations. They are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency and can help you book your trip to Galaxy's Edge on either coast. And best of all, their service is free of charge. So head to smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote and tell them that Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Yay! Now, we are recording this from Long Beach, California on this Independence Day, July 4th, 2019. So, Minnie, how big was our earthquake today?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
No. Yeah, we had an earthquake, a July 4th earthquake, and it felt like, and I was sitting in a chair outside, and it felt for about 2 minutes like it was a very slow rock, like I was on a cruise ship. You know how a cruise ship is pretty big, so you can barely feel the waves, but that's what it felt like. But the ground was like the cruise ship, which was kind of weird.
This did start 2 hours north of us in Bakersfield, and by the time it got to us, it was a small aftershock, but I did hear there was some destruction way up there.
Well, I'm sorry for all of you in Bakersfield, you guys. I hope you guys are doing okay. And yeah. Okay, well, Minnie Mouse never told us what time it was.
Okay, Minnie, what time is it?
It's 12:38. Good afternoon.
Oh, it's an hour past 11:38.
Oh,
we missed our kissing time.
Oh. I guess we can't kiss right
To
now.
wait another 11 hours to kiss again.
We can only kiss in front of the Millennium Falcon, or in the Millennium Falcon, or at 11:38.
Yes. All right, now let's say what's coming up on this episode, because we're going to be speaking with Miki Herman. And she is one of the very, 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 very few females who worked in production on Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, and the Star Wars Holiday Special.
What?
And we've been waiting to talk to her for a long, long time, and now we finally have her, and she told us stories that I've never heard before. This is the best thing about talking to people who were actually there, because they were actually there.
Yeah.
And they can give us firsthand experiences. And I cannot wait for everyone to hear these stories.
And not surprisingly on this episode, we have more on Galaxy's Edge.
Seriously?
Yes.
Wow. There's more stuff to report?
There's more. Did you know that each cast member at Galaxy's Edge has their own backstory? So to enhance the immersive feel, each local who is working on Galaxy's Edge has created their own story as to why they are working at Black Spire Outpost, as well as how they feel about the Resistance and the First Order occupation, and also what they know about the legend of Luke Skywalker and some other characters.
And best of all, you're going to be able to see a video on our YouTube channel of us talking to these Batuu locals.
Mm-hmm.
And they have so many stories to report. In fact, so many stories about their own stories, about scandals and legends, that we have a lot of videos coming your way.
Yeah, if you haven't been to our YouTube channel, then you've been missing out on some great stuff. We just posted a 1-month Galaxy's Edge update video that includes some merchandise, a speech made by the new female First Order lieutenant, which is awesome.
Yeah, do you know what her name is?
What?
Lieutenant. I got a selfie with her and said, "Oh, what's your name?" And she said, "Lieutenant." Okay, Lieutenant what? Lieutenant. Your name is Lieutenant? Miss Lieutenant. I think I caught her off guard.
I think this was her first day, honestly, because I haven't seen videos of her.
She was very, very good.
She was super good. She has this one line, which we'll play later because, well, should we play it now?
She's talking to the audience of Galaxy's Edge. She's up by the TIE Echelon fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when Kylo Ren comes out, and she's telling everyone, if you are a Resistance sympathizer, we will find you. We're going to come out now. We're going to interrogate you. And
we were interrogated by First Order troops, not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to remember. Did they choose me? No, they didn't. No one ever chooses me at Disneyland.
They called me out like 3 times.
Yeah. I got excited. Hey, are you talking to me? No, move aside.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Now, we have another video coming up where we spend the day at Galaxy's Edge with our friend Eric Walker. You know him, Mace Tuwani from the Ewok Adventure. Well, he built a lightsaber, he built a droid, and it was fun hanging out with him.
Definitely. Yeah, so that's going to be a really fun video.
Hashtag Mace lives.
Also coming up on this episode, we have a trip report from Mike Sanders and his son Owen on their visit to Galaxy's Edge.
All right, now, things we want to share.
Things we want to share. Things we want to share. Things we want to share.
Major casting news was released this week for the live-action Little Mermaid film.
And I'm gonna guess no one had a problem with it.
What?
Not a person. That's just the hunch I'm going with right now.
Okay. Well, Disney announced through a press release that actress and musical artist Halle Bailey, one half of Chloe and Halle, has been cast as Ariel, with production expected to begin on the live-action remake in early 2020.
All right, stop right there.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Did you say Halle Berry?
No, I didn't. I said Halle Bailey.
Yes.
Like the Bailey Building and Loan.
Once again, she's a... Wait, what? Not the same person?
No. But that's how I remember to say Halle Bailey and not Halle Berry is from It's a Wonderful Life, the Bailey Building and Loan. Just that's how my brain works.
Okay, because when I'm reading this, I'm reading it as Halle Berry.
No, I know it looks like it even here because it's the same beginning and ending letter. And okay.
So Halle Bailey,
yes.
one half of Chloe and Halle.
Yeah.
Now what is that?
It's a singing duo, I'm assuming.
Okay.
We started something by mistake. Who would have thought that I could feel this way?
She's a musical artist, so
Yeah.
she's a good singer,
Right.
which is great because that's what we need for Little Mermaid.
Right. Now, with all kidding aside,
Okay.
looking at her picture, she is the perfect Ariel.
I agree.
She has got the perfect Ariel.
Like the wide eyes.
They're very, very cherubic, very innocent looking. Yeah, there shouldn't be any problem with this whatsoever.
No, and I think these new Disney live action remakes are very much their own films. Yes, they're remakes, but they're updating and they're bringing these stories to today's 2019 audience.
Yeah.
2020. Yeah, exactly.
But go back a step here.
Okay.
Is it a remake or it's not it could be a reboot, but I'm going to say it's a reimagining.
Yeah, that's a better word.
Yeah, because remake is like you're remaking it using the same elements and the same.
Well, there
yeah.
are some of the similar elements. I mean, we're going to have a lot of the same music.
Right.
But we're also going to have new songs. So original songs from the Disney animated classic, which of course were written by Alan Menken and Howard Ashman, will be reprised in the new film, but additional songs will be composed by Alan Menken, and Lin-Manuel Miranda from Hamilton will be writing the lyrics for the new songs. So there will be some new songs, which I think they did very well in a lot of these other remakes with Alan Menken attached, including Beauty and the Beast. It had no fewer than 5 new songs that fleshed out the story, like Belle's mom. Belle got a mom. So maybe Little Mermaid, maybe she'll get a mom.
Yeah, but you know what will happen to her in the first 5 minutes of the movie?
What?
She'll be killed.
She'll be dying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
All right,
all
now-
her sisters and stuff. I don't know if she'll have that many sisters. Like, who knows? Maybe they'll flesh out a sister for her, and they'll have like a fun sister relationship or something. Could be.
I'm going to call this a reimagining, so they could do that. But as we always ask, is this necessary?
Yeah.
Just like we asked with Aladdin, is it necessary? And our conclusion was yes. The new live action Aladdin, which came out a few weeks ago, yes, that was necessary because it really rounded out and updated Jasmine.
And gave Jasmine another a friend.
And a purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, how could they update Little Mermaid?
Well, like I said, they could add another.
Right. But for a 2019 audience, how could they make it more current, more relevant? Now, it's been a while since I've seen Little Mermaid.
Okay.
So what happened in the very end? Did she need a man to save her?
Oh. Well, yes, her dad.
Oh, there you go.
Was able to.
There you have it. All right.
Yes. So the whole story was about Ariel finding her prince and getting him to love her, to fall in love with her.
There's your answer right there.
Right. And then at the end, spoiler alert, but come on, 89. At the end, so King Triton, she didn't get her legs, she remained a mermaid, and she was longingly looking at Eric, and then on the ship, and her father reaches out with his trident and gives her legs and says, "Go on, do your thing, my daughter." And she's like, "Oh, yay." And then they get married, her and Eric. And they sail off into the sunset under a rainbow.
Okay.
And hence, I needed a prince in my life. But so I bet they update that story, like she's gonna be the next Queen Triton, or who knows,
Right.
Like Jasmine was gonna be in line for Sultan now. So they could do something like that.
Right. She could be the queen, and she could say to Eric, "Hey, if you want to stay, no problem. You can if you want, but really, don't really need you."
Mm.
They won't go that direction, but I'm just saying something where she doesn't really need Prince Eric in her life to live a very, very fruitful and well-rounded existence.
So I bet, because every musical starts with that I want song, I bet she's going to want not just the prince, but she's going to want something more than that, than just the prince.
Well, she could start off with that, but in the end, it could be the arc.
Yeah, the journey.
Right, where she wants it, but wants and needs in films are two totally different things.
Mm-hmm.
So what she needs, let's just go with self-confidence, that I don't need a prince.
Right.
But yet she can survive with or without him.
So her main I want song is part of your world. I want to be where the people are. I want to be part of your world. Maybe it becomes, I want to make my own world. I want to, make a world that I see, that I can live in. Something like that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. So I think if they update it like that, I can absolutely see that happening.
And I'm sure they will.
Mm-hmm.
This film is being directed by Rob Marshall, who recently directed Mary Poppins Returns.
Yes. He also directed Into the Woods, fantastic musical, and Chicago. So he's got a fantastic record of musicals under his belt.
Yeah, we just won't mention that Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Oh, did he direct? Well, that wasn't a musical.
Okay, shh.
See?
Let's move on.
It's musicals he's good at.
All right. Now, going back to the press report, it says that reports suggest Melissa McCarthy is in talks to play Ursula.
Whoa.
It's not confirmed.
Right.
But those are just the reports.
Okay, so can she sing? Because Ursula has a scene munching song. She needs to bust this out.
With auto tuning, anyone can sing. I can sing with auto tuning, and that's saying something.
Well, and also someone else could be the singer. I mean, that's happened.
Right, but I don't think they would go that direction.
I don't think so either.
So I think they can train her enough to sing a couple of songs.
That seems fun, though. I mean, what do you think about that?
I like that. I love Melissa McCarthy. I think she's hilarious. I think she could really chew up this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm on board with that. Hope that happens.
Okay.
Now, there's also another Little Mermaid film in the works. What?
Wait, what?
Yeah, Universal and Working Title, they are developing a live-action adaptation of The Little Mermaid with Chloe Moritz playing Ariel. She was in Dark Shadows. She's in Kick-Ass.
Is she the little girl in Kick-Ass?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Which
Yes.
she's obviously grown up now.
And since Little Mermaid is it's public domain.
Exactly.
So anyone can do it.
It's going to be like the end of the 90s all over again when we had the Armageddon movie coming out next to the other big Armageddon-like movie. And then you had
Volcano, you had Dante's Peak.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Those movies. The disaster movies came out 2 at a time.
All right, now I'm sure we're going to be seeing more casting choices at D23 Expo next month.
Yes, I bet they announce and we get to see live Halle Bailey.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that.
And I'm sure she'll come out singing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, that would be great.
Not a whole new world, but
part of your world.
Part of your Yeah, I'm sure they'll have her come out singing a part of your world, which would make a whole lot of sense. And that's going to create a huge buzzstorm of energy.
Yes. Okay, I just want to mention here, part of your world, that song hit me. And if you think about it, it's one of those songs that's very hard to memorize because there's not a proper verse and chorus. There's not a proper verse and chorus. It's all one long thing. And so when I finally memorized that, I think I was 8. I felt very accomplished. I could sing that whole song, all memorized.
Nice. Now, The Watchful and Harmonious on YouTube says, The Little Mermaid 2 showed Ariel's backstory with her mom. And then he writes, the reason I know this, I have daughters. It's important that you put that part in there. But you know what? We're not here to judge.
No, not at all.
And he also writes, if The Rock can sing, and then I'm sure Melissa can sing as well.
Melissa McCarthy, yes.
Yeah. Now, let's say that at D23 Expo, they're about to announce who's going to be playing Triton.
Ooh.
Who's the first name that pops in your mind?
King Triton. Oh, boy. Oh, okay. Patrick Stewart.
The decision you reach here today will determine how we will regard this creation of our genius.
I don't know. No, not really.
Stewart.
No. Okay, you know what comes to mind? Who played Aquaman? but aged up.
Oh, Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
Marmo?
Yeah, him. Him, but like aged, with gray hair.
Yeah, but...
He's got the look, anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same role as Aquaman.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a whole stretch there. I'm seeing Idris Elba.
Ooh.
From Thor and everything else.
Yeah.
He's in everything, so why not insert him in this? And he's got that very, very big physique.
He usually has a shaved head, right?
It all depends, really.
Okay. I'm picturing... Okay.
Okay.
So that would be cool.
So that would be my top choice.
Okay.
The Watchful and Harmonious, once again, on YouTube says The Rock.
Oh. Isn't he already...
and everything else?
Maui?
Yes,
but,
Maui.
Yeah. Maui. He's
okay.
Maui. That would be... that would be cool.
I think that would take us out of the movie if it was The Rock.
It might.
Yeah, whereas Idris Elba, he always dissolves into the roles.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's say they're going to announce Prince Eric. Who do you see as Prince Eric?
Oh, my... Wow.
And once again, the Watchful and Harmonious on YouTube says The Rock.
No, he doesn't.
that was for the last. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, what do you guys think for Prince Eric? I'm gonna go with Chris Pine.
That's your answer for everything.
Well, he's already been in Rob Marshall movies as the Prince.
That's very true.
In Into the Woods.
Okay, there's only one answer here.
Okay.
Michael B. Jordan.
Oh.
Yeah, mic drop on that one. He was Eric Killmonger and Black Panther.
Right. No, he's definitely got the look. Like, he's very much...
Yeah, once again, he's already in the Disney family.
Yeah.
And he's the hot thing right now.
So, I could definitely see that working.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, now they're going to announce who the voice of Sebastian is going to be. Sarah, who do you think of?
Sebastian is usually... Well, traditionally, he's someone with that Jamaican accent. Do we know any?
Eddie Grant.
Who?
Oh, no, we're gonna rock it down to Electric Avenue. And then we'll take it higher. Oh, we're gonna rock
who do you think?
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
That's a good one.
Yeah, he's gonna be in there somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
and he would rock it out, And what if they even change Sebastian up so he's not Jamaican, but he's got like the whole hip hop thing that Lin-Manuel adds to his...
Well, there's the reimagining right there.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, now they're going to announce the voice of Flounder is...
Oh, boy. You've already thought this out really well.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
So hurry up.
So go, okay, voice of Flounder is like a little kid's voice. Do we know a little kid who would be good?
Well, that doesn't really matter.
No, I guess
voiceovers.
Not. What do you think?
I'm going to say James Arnold Taylor.
Ooh, that would be fun. Yeah, he would make a great voice.
He is the master of voices, and he plays Johnny Storm.
Yep.
A little kid. I would love to see him in this.
Who plays Bart Simpson?
Nancy Cartwright.
Yeah.
Ay, caramba.
Although I think that would take you out of it.
Well, you know what? She's now in the Disney family since the Simpsons are now in Disney.
Indeed.
So you know what? I wouldn't be. Or maybe Yardley Smith, who plays Lisa Simpson.
Yeah.
Maybe she would be Flounder.
Like, whatever.
Different.
All right, just think of Buddy Hackett. That comes right.
Okay,
that voice is right there.
Who's Bing Bong?
Oh, Richard Kind.
Richard Kind. Richard Kind would be fun.
Right.
If they were to take away some roles and maybe add human roles instead, like say Ariel's sister instead of a Flounder or a Scuttle.
No,
I could see that happening.
Stop.
I'm just saying it could happen.
Yeah, but you look at Sebastian and Flounder and Scuttle. What's the first thing Disney execs are going to think of? Merchandising.
Well, that's true. And Sebastian is amazing. Like, they need to keep Sebastian, if anything. That'd be cool.
Now, let's just say that for some reason, Melissa McCarthy, she had 15 films already on her plate.
Yes.
As she always does.
For Ursula, you're saying.
For Ursula, yeah.
Okay.
And she can't play Ursula. Who else do you see?
Okay.
Who else do you see?
Rob Marshall.
Okay,
Rob Marshall is doing this, right? And in Chicago, who was the diva? Madam May, what's her name? Queen Latifah. That's my pick. I think she would be amazing.
That is very good.
Yeah.
Just erase my
Well, what do you think?
I was going to say Rebel Wilson. She might be a little bit too young.
Okay.
But I could
She could work it, though.
Also see Emily Blunt. Going from Mary Poppins to Ursula, that would be an amazing career trajectory.
It would be. But yeah, no, I gotta say Queen Latifah. Like, she'd kill it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
And she has she's worked with Rob Marshall, so I bet he's plugging for her anyway.
Oh, yeah, definitely. All right, Skywalker, so what do you think of those choices? And we want to hear your choices, so go ahead and tweet at us.
At SkywalkingPod, or post in the comments below.
Hey, Skywalkers! This is Eric Walker, Star Wars First Mace, the OM, the original, and I'm here for a special announcement. For the first time ever, I'm making available the cast and the crew shirts from Caravan of Courage, the Ewok adventure. This has never been released before, so here's your chance to go grab a part of Star Wars history. These shirts will only be available for a limited time, so go to ericwalkermusic.com for more details. And remember, never land on Alderaan, or the forest moon of Endor for that matter.
Yep.
All right, now, Sarah, let's bring on our guest, Miki Herman, who, among other Star Wars production responsibilities, she was also the executive producer on the Ewoks and Droids Adventure Hour. It is always so special when we have a guest who worked on the original Star Wars films all the way up to the Ewoks and Droids Adventure Hour.
And she recently attended a unique presentation held here in LA called Galactic Innovations, Star Wars, and Rogue One. Everyone, please welcome Miki Herman.
Hey, Miki.
Hey, Richard and Sarah.
So we have so many questions to ask you, but let's go back to the original Star Wars, where you worked as a second unit production assistant. What were your responsibilities there?
My mentor, Jim Nelson, he was the associate producer, and he set up and ran ILM. So he kind of led me through what I needed to do to help for the second unit production. For instance, he'd say, go get some black carpenter gloves for the Jawas. Pretty much I was responsible for getting the props and costumes together for the shoot. When we were in Death Valley, there was a production manager from Fox, Peter Harold, who kind of set up everything and wanted me to stay in the office, which to coordinate getting the school teacher and things like that. But I did get out to the set and took some photographs and coordinated with the animal trainers as we brought the elephants up for the banthas. And then by the end of the second unit, I knew all the props and costumes. I knew all the actors, and the following George around to the editing room and to ILM dailies, I knew the special effects. So this being a production assistant for a very small company, had a great variety of things that I was responsible to do, which also led Charles Lippincott to recruit me for ancillary projects. To take the droids. I was kind of like a droid roadie, and take them on TV shows and for photo shoots, and Han Solo and all the characters for photo shoots, and TV specials, and so forth. So, as I said, we were a small company, and because I knew everything about all that details, I was kind of valuable to them.
What did you think about this film that they were making called Star Wars?
Well, the first time I went to ILM for dailies, and I saw a scene with C-3PO and them coming into the Mos Eisley spaceport, I thought I had never seen anything like it in my life. It was so amazing. So I was amazed. whereas the Fox studio weren't so amazed. They were kind of worried.
Pulling their hair out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did anyone from Fox ever say, "Hey guys, can you speed this up? And do we really need a cantina?"
The production manager from Fox was out in Death Valley, but they weren't around for the cantina pickups. Mostly Gary Kurtz. I worked very closely with the producer, Gary Kurtz, and he was very instrumental in getting all of this worked out.
Well, from what we know about Gary Kurtz and having talked to him, he's like the producer of all producers. Everyone should live to work to his standards.
Yeah, he was very much a hands-on producer.
Okay.
And I know working in the second unit departments like you did, they would just put anyone in any scene just to fill it out. Did they ever put you in a scene and say, "Hey, put this mask on and run over there"?
Well, I was put in the C-3PO costume.
What?
In Death Valley. I was. It was a mismatch, so it was cut out, and they had to reshoot it with someone else. That wasn't me, but yeah, it was the scene where Luke and 3PO, they're in the land speeder, and I think I was driving, and
Yeah, 3PO was driving the land speeder for those scenes.
yeah, right, and it was not an easy task.
No, that's amazing.
You know what? I've always heard about the behind-the-scenes stories about there was a girl in a 3PO outfit for those shots.
Well, I think it was me, and then it was Peter Curran, and then I think one of the special effects, one of the ILMers' wife was in it. So I'm not sure which one made the final cut, but I know for sure it wasn't me.
Oh, darn! But that's amazing to say that you have been in the C-3PO outfit.
Wow!
Like, what? Wow, that's a calling card.
Tony Daniels called it the biscuit box.
Oh,
no, that seems appropriate.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any one story that maybe stands out in your mind when you talk about the making of Star Wars?
Any one story? I guess it just was. No, I don't have any one story. There's a lot of stories. So it's hard for me to pinpoint one without embarrassing myself.
Oh.
Well, could you retell the story without embarrassing yourself and put it on someone else?
Well, I remember when I was in the biscuit box in Death Valley, I had to pee.
Oh no!
And that was an operation. Because somebody, well, first of all, they were spread out all over and on walkie-talkies. So, it was announced that we were taking a break and somebody had to unscrew me out of the costume, and that was pretty embarrassing.
Oh,
that was something I will never forget.
I'll say. You know what? When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Exactly. And I'm sure they understand.
And I mean,
and there weren't many women in the company.
Right.
So, so I was around the guys all the time, and sometimes I would have to tell them what to do, and sometimes they didn't appreciate that. But it was all came down from George.
Well, that's good. At least you got George backing you on that.
That's funny. We all got to go at some point or another.
Well, plus you're in Death Valley and
you're drinking
you
water.
need to drink a lot to maintain hydration.
Right.
Yeah.
It was fun though going to Death Valley. It's such a gorgeous place. I don't know if you've ever been there, but
yeah, we did a location scout of all the original Star Wars shooting locations, and just beautiful. But now, next time we go there, I'll have to think about Miki Herman in a 3PO costume going, can we take 5? Now, you must have done a really stellar job because they kept you within the company, and you became a consultant on my favorite, the Star Wars Holiday Special. Now, what did that job entail as being a consultant?
Well, Gary Kurtz and Charles Lippincott, they were the ones that recruited me. And so my job was to find a creature maker who could make the costumes. So I interviewed a lot of them around Los Angeles. Ultimately hired Stan Winston to be the main guy, and there were other guys too. So to get the costumes made, that was my big thing. And then to be on the set and to try to hold the hands of the producers that were in way over their heads.
Right. With like the two directors, because you had the one director who was a movie director, and then they had to bring in a TV director.
Yeah. So you went from being a production assistant only a year ago to such a big, having a big title that incorporated a lot of responsibility.
I was cheap labor. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
I gave 150%. You know, I mean, I didn't go home at 5 o'clock. I, you know, made sure that all the costumes got returned to the vault and all the robots and everything got returned to where they should be, and kind of coordinated a storage container. And they were very trusting. I mean, George used to hire a lot of people that didn't have extensive experience. For instance, Bob Caro, who wrote he wrote the Ewok special on TV, and he wrote some of the Ewoks for the cartoon shows. He worked as a houseboy up at where George lived. And so he just used to trust people. He used to give people responsibility and let them run with it.
Wow, that's a good tale for today. You've got to stay past 5 o'clock. To make your mark.
True.
And then you were a production coordinator on The Empire Strikes Back. Once again, you really rose through these ranks. What do you remember from the making of Empire?
To put it in historical context, the night before I moved up to Marin for Empire, I watched the Star Wars Holiday Special on TV with my friends. And then when I got to San Francisco, to the Bay Area, it was like the day of the Jonestown Massacre.
Oh, no!
I remember that. Yeah, so this puts it in historical context. And moving ILM to San Rafael was a big thing. We had to build a lot of camera equipment and just set up the whole ILM. So I expedited all of that, plus working closely with Joe Johnston, getting the storyboards done for the Empire. And I remember being in the screening room, I guess, with George, and putting the storyboards up on the wall, numbering them and naming them, and he said to me, organization is the key. And so he kind of held my hand to get me off the ground to, you know, be the production coordinator, because there was just me, okay?
Wow.
And on Jedi, they had 3 people doing the job that I did. So that was my memory of The Empire Strikes Back, but it was a wonderful movie and my favorite.
Oh, yeah, mine too. I have a question for you. Did you stay in Marin County during the shooting of Empire Strikes Back, or would you actually go on location?
No, I did not go on Empire. I did go on Jedi, but I did not go on Empire. I just stayed. And George did not direct it, as you know, or Kirshner directed it. So, you know, I was in close contact with him every day.
This must have been a real stressful time for George, since he was paying for The Empire Strikes Back out of his own pocket, and the production wasn't moving as quickly as he would have liked.
Yeah, he was concerned and nervous, as anybody would be. It was a huge, huge deal, and Gary Kurtz did not anticipate the complexities of the sets in London that, you know, needed to do Yoda, the puppet, and yeah, it was a complicated shoot for sure.
Right.
Definitely. Was there ever a moment, here you are, you're hardworking, you've been put in these jobs that maybe you weren't quite ready for, but you're doing them because that's your job. And was there ever a moment in any of these jobs where you were like, okay, yeah, I got this. Like, I am on top of this now. Like a triumphant moment.
I have to think about that. I don't think I ever had that much confidence, to tell you the truth. I think I just tried my hardest and, you know, stayed after 5 o'clock.
Well, working on the biggest franchise of the time, and I think still of today's time, it must have been really intimidating because audiences everywhere, all over the world, were waiting for each film. And if you were put in the place of trying to move the production ahead, I could say that could be intimidating to anybody. Now, when you were working on Return of the Jedi, what were some of the challenges of making this film for you personally, let's say?
Well, that was a really cool thing for me because I got to scout every redwood forest from Santa Cruz to Vancouver to British Columbia.
Wow.
So that was so amazing. The people that I met and the cathedral girls. There's so many cathedral girls. I really know my conifers now. So that was really wonderful to do that location scouting. I enjoyed that a lot. And then to set it all up, to get the hotels for everybody and to get all the equipment there and I named some of the locations that we used, like heart-shaped tree. And it was really a great experience.
Were you on location for Return of the Jedi?
Yes, I was. Nice. I was in charge of the redwood forest, the indoor part. Louis Friedman was in charge of the Yuma unit. I did scout Yuma, and I scouted all the locations with the team, but I was on location at the forest. They shot in Yuma first.
Right.
The barge scene.
For Tatooine, right.
And the Sarlacc.
Oh, yeah. What made you choose, I believe is it Kings Park? Or which park did you choose for the redwoods, and what made you choose that particular redwood forest?
Well, we needed to, first of all, there were a lot of places that we shot plates, different forests, but we needed a place where we could build a bunker and have explosions. And so we found a place where they were going to be cutting down the trees, and that was in Crescent City, California, which is just south of the Oregon border. And I had a location helper, Lenny Fike, who set it all up, took me around and set it up that we could use this location.
Was it one of your jobs to wrangle the Ewoks? I know how much they like to party back then.
They did. No, that wasn't my job. That was Kirk Thatcher's job.
Well, there you go. Yeah, Kirk.
He loves to party with the Ewoks.
And Kirk's like, 6'4"? So that must have been a fantastic time.
Yeah.
Now, let's jump ahead to 1985, where you became the executive producer of the Ewoks and Droids Adventure Hour. So you really rose through the ranks at Lucasfilm very, very quickly.
Well, George, gave me the opportunity to produce these shows, and he always loved cartoons. So everything that I did, stemmed from his sensibilities and his preferences. And I got Nelvana from Canada to do the animation. They did the animation in the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yeah.
The one that George wrote, the Boba Fett one, the Talisman one, and they were great people to work with. And so we had a lot of time to plan and prepare. Like, I think in May of 1984, we all met with George and discussed how he saw the shows and how he wanted them. And he wanted them to have a better quality than any animation show. He wanted to have a lot of emotion. If it's happy or sad or scary, he wanted that to be part of the themes. He wanted more animation cells than any other TV show, animation show. Like a lot of them, the characters stood still and their mouths moved.
Yeah.
So he didn't want that. And he didn't write any of the stories. I did check with him, did consult with him, show him some of the designs, and he approved those. That was pretty much it.
Okay. Were you involved with the stories and the direction of the Star Wars characters and where they were going?
Well, yes, I did participate in the development of the stories and the characters. we had, with R2-D2 and C-3PO, these are friends that are always getting in trouble. And it was designed in 4 episodes for each master. Then in the Ewoks, it was more romantic and more family-oriented life in the forest of Endor. So, and softer. He wanted the droids to be more hard edge.
It's funny you said that R2 and 3PO were always getting in trouble, because that was the name of the theme song.
Right.
which had the best theme song of any animated series of all time.
Stepping softly in a danger zone. No weapon in my hand. It's just this phrase designed by man. Got me trouble again.
I love that. Stuart Copeland, was the one who did the music for the droids, and Taj Mahal did the music for Ewoks. Now, it was not. I had met this producer from Disney, and he could not understand how we would have that kind of music, which is so different than the music in Disney animation.
We are the friendly spirits from the forest grove. We're friendly spirits from the forest grove. We are free, we are bold, like our storytellers told. That we're strong and we will fight, and we'll stand up for our rights. We're friendly spirits from the forest grove. We are.
This is something recently?
No, this was back then, like around when we were doing this series, like at Toy Fair or something like that in 1985.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because those 2 theme songs were so ahead of their time, and the Ewok song was another fantastic theme, and I was so disappointed back then, as I am now, that they changed it for the 2nd season.
Yeah, I guess that's when I went out. They had replaced me with these TV animation producers from Los Angeles, and they, wanted to make it more traditional, more like Disney approval.
Oh, see, there you have it. And then they canceled the Droids series.
Yeah.
Oh, sad.
They needed you around.
Yeah.
To tell them what was what. And then after your years at Lucasfilm, you went back to school and got a Master of Clinical Psychology, and that seems like a very natural progression after being in the film business.
Yeah, and then I got my PhD, too.
Oh, nice.
So
wow, we should be calling you Dr. Herman.
Well, I am Dr. Herman.
Excellent.
I'm retired Dr. Herman.
After Ewoks and Droids, did you think, what's my next step? Well, I've heard so many problems throughout the years and seen it firsthand. Maybe I can go into deciphering what caused all these problems and how people were thinking.
Well, I used to tell people being a psychologist is not really different than being a producer, except a producer has to solve the problems, put out the fires all the time. But as a psychotherapist, I just had to understand them. And then people in the film business would say, oh, you were so smart to get out and do something good. And people in the psychotherapy business said, you did that? Why do you want to do this?
The grass is always greener, huh?
Yeah, right.
Exactly. So, yeah. So I've been on lots of different roads in my career.
Wow.
But that makes life interesting. Do you have a favorite one? Like, would you...
Favorite industry?
Yeah.
Well, it might as well been 100 years ago how the technology has changed. As evident from Galactic Innovations, Star Wars, and Rogue One. No, I don't miss it, but I have a lot of respect for those people, and the technology is so different.
Yeah.
It's just mind-boggling.
Oh, it sure
I
is.
remember Gary Kurtz had given a X-Wing to John Whitney Jr. to do a digital test with to see, if they could fly it digitally and how many pixels it was. And, it was just so far from being able to fly those ships digitally. Now they don't even need models, so it's just amazing.
And you just mentioned Galactic Innovations, which was a presentation held here in Los Angeles. It was called Galactic Innovations, Star Wars, and Rogue One. And this is something that we had seen, and by the time we tried to buy the tickets, they were sold out.
Yeah.
But you were there, and how was it being reunited with all these old family members of the Star Wars crew?
Oh, it was great. Really great. They were all happy to see me. I was really happy to see them. Ben Burt came up to me. He said, Miki Herman, and I looked at him for a second, and he said, it's me, Ben Burt, an older version. So we're all older, but everybody's still in good shape and good spirits, and a lot of them, are still consulting or teaching or working, and they're all such a brilliant team. Marsha Lucas was there. It was great to see her. Her two daughters were there, and Dennis Marin, Bruce Nicholson, John Dykstra. It was just a really great evening. And you probably streamed it, right?
Yes. Yeah. And I'm kicking myself for not having been there, but at least we can watch it live stream, which, by the way, YouTube said it would only be live streamed for 48 hours, but this was last week and it's still up there.
Oh, good.
So
oh, really?
Yeah. So if anyone has not seen this, you've got to see it. There's so many behind-the-scenes stories on Star Wars that they're being told by the people who are actually there. And it is really mind-blowing. Is this the first time that you were reunited with some of these people since the making of the Star Wars films?
No, we had a 40th anniversary party in San Rafael that Rose Dignan put together. And so everybody was there except for Dennis Marin, whose son was graduating from law school. So I saw everybody then, and that was, I guess, 2017, I think.
Is it accurate by saying this was a big family unit? Definitely.
The only one who should have been there, who I miss dearly, is George, but he couldn't be there.
Oh.
When was the last time you spoke to George?
I have not seen him since he sold the company to Disney.
Okay.
I used to always go to be invited to the 4th of July picnic every year for umpteen years, and so I would see him there. But then after he sold it to Disney, I stopped getting invited to the picnics, and I don't think he went either. So, he just went off on a different trajectory. But now, I guess he bought a home in Brentwood and is involved with the design of the Lucas Museum that they're building in Exposition Park near USC.
Wow.
So that won't be built for 2 years yet, but they're all planning it. And so he comes in weekly to review what they're doing and approve or say nay, which is what he loves to do. He loves to build things.
Wow. And you say he's in Brentwood. Do you happen to have an address?
No, and I'm not even sure if it is Brentwood, but somebody told me that they heard that he did buy a house.
How exciting! Oh wow! Well, we live in LA, obviously, and we're so excited to
go to this museum.
Yeah, to see the museum being built too. It's just fun to watch these things that George builds.
Yes.
Yeah, I volunteer at the Skirball Museum and Cultural Center, and they have this wonderful thing called Noah's Ark that's really great for little kids. And I was thinking, God, I wish I could get George and Melody to come and bring their child to see Noah's Ark, because there's nothing like it anywhere.
Oh, cool.
Wow. You know what? I think we'll have to make a day trip up there,
Yeah,
Sarah. That sounds interesting.
Well, yes, right now there's some really fabulous exhibitions there. So, and if you ever want to come, I'm there on Saturdays and Wednesdays.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh, good deal. I didn't know that.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? To wrap this up, do you like to hear from your fans? And if so, where can they get a hold of you?
Well, I'm on Facebook, so I have a lot of fan friends. So usually I will, let them be friends. And they're all, I enjoy it. I do enjoy it. I don't like them to have my address and come over and visit me or anything like that.
All right, point taken.
Yes.
But I just did an autograph signing session. So I'm probably going to start going to sci-fi conventions and, be on panels and be signing autographs and things like that. So then I will meet a lot of fans.
Oh, great. And if people want to know like where you're going to be, are you going to post that kind of thing like on Facebook, or do you have a website?
I don't have a website, but, I'm on Facebook. So, yeah, if it happens, I had discussed it with the people that did the autograph session with me. They do it, and they do them like in London, and all expenses paid, and Germany, and
In Anaheim next August for Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, I think the one that I probably will be at will be called EmpireCon.
Oh, yeah, in December.
At LAX in December.
Okay, great.
Wow.
If that happens, so I'll let you know.
All
Okay,
right, good
Mickey.
deal. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing these stories I've never heard before.
Yeah.
So this has been a treat for me.
Okay, wonderful.
Well, thank you, Dr. Herman.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Neverland on Alderaan. Shout-outs, Skywalker shout-outs. Which Skywalkers get props from here in Neverland? Who was tweeted out? Shout-out. Who was photoballed? Shout-out. Who was shared a post? Shout-out.
Our Skywalking Through Neverland shirts, which are available on TeePublic, well, they're making their way around the world. Christian Grundner posted a Skywalker selfie to our Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook page, and he was wearing the Mickey Ears Firebird shirt that we have, and he posted, "Waiting for the brand new Lion King show in my trusty Skywalking Through Neverland shirt at Disneyland Paris."
Awesome.
I know! That was totally cool. So thank you, Christian, and thank you for sharing that. We love those posts. And please, Christian, I don't know if you're part of our Facebook group yet, but make sure you check that out. Search Facebook for Skywalking Through Neverland group so you can post that in there and you'll get a lot more comments. All right. Also, our Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group is really awesome. And Jess Waltz, she posted a heartfelt note in that group last week. And I have paraphrased some of it here. So this is what she says. "I want to thank Richard and Sarah for the truly amazing family they have created. It is a family. It just lifts my heart seeing everyone's posts and interacting with everyone. I've never seen anything in this group that makes my heart hurt. I feel like part of the family. Thank you to every single Skywalker here. You guys keep me going and remind me of all the best parts of being a fan. I love you guys and all that you do."
Aww.
Isn't that great? And you should see like the comments below that, like, oh, it was like a love fest. It was amazing.
Oh, thank you, Jess. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's always rewarding when we read those kind of posts, because when you work pretty much around the clock on these videos and the shows, and just seeing how it affects people, that, I'm going to take a selfish moment right now and go, oh, thank you. It really lifts up my day.
And also, I want to thank Jess for thanking all the Skywalkers that make that group so amazing. Like, it's not us. I mean, it's everyone there. It's great.
Yeah, so thank you. And another big Wookiee hug to you. All right, Sarah, we got some comments in our YouTube videos, too.
Yeah, our latest video release is the Galaxy's Edge 30-day update, and we got a comment on there from Waffle Man Gaming. You gotta love YouTube user names. I love them.
Don't even read his comment. Just it's just fun just to say Waffle Man Gaming.
I know. And Waffle Man Gaming says, "Love watching your vids. So entertaining and informative." So thank you, Waffle Man Gaming.
So thank you, everyone. Much appreciated, and I can't say that enough.
Also, just want to say it gives us a little thrill each time we see a comment pop up on our YouTube videos or we get another subscriber because we're so close to 4,000 now.
Yeah. And we don't take any of this for granted.
No, and we read all the comments too. So,
yes.
Yeah, we just love that. So if you guys feel like commenting, please comment, give our video a like so that YouTube knows, hey, let's share this video with everyone else. And it's just so exciting.
So, yeah, like you said, we're only a few away from 3,900 subscribers on YouTube.
Yep.
So let's make that 4,000 by the middle of July?
Let's do it. July 15th.
Come on, people. Please help us. You're our only hope.
Hi, Skywalkers. This is Mike Sanders. I was lucky to preview Galaxy's Edge with my 12-year-old son, Owen, and Richard and Sarah. The visit was amazing. First, Owen wanted to build a droid. He built a BB unit, and as Sarah said it had to have a name, he came up with BB-896 with the Scoundrel chip. Then, off to explore Batuu. The theming was perfect. We were harassed by stormtroopers, tried the blue milk. I liked it. Owen not so much. We then found our way to Smuggler's Run. We were both pilots. I thought we did pretty good until we landed, and they kind of yelled at us for banging up the Falcon too much. We had a meal at Docking Bay 7. Owen loved the smoked Kadoo ribs. Now, this was my favorite. We met back up with Richard and Sarah at Smuggler's Run. Hanging out with them in the queue was a blast. This time we did much better. Sarah was a pilot, Richard a gunner, and Owen and I were both engineers. This was absolutely so much fun to experience as a family of Skywalkers. Thanks again, Mike and Owen Sanders.
Now, let's meet the people in the Black Spire Outpost neighborhood. We went around and talked with lots of the cast members and we got to know them a little bit. And when you visit Galaxy's Edge, we suggest that you do this as well because they love telling their stories and they put a lot of work into their backstories. And we got our microphones and we went from person to person and asked them a whole lot of questions like, who are you? How did you get to Batuu? And just so many fun questions and topics that we need to break this up into so many different videos because there's so many different themes to go with. But right now, let's meet the locals of Batuu and get a chance to know them. First up, let's talk with Steven. We are meeting all the Batuu locals.
Yeah.
Now, are you a Batuuian or a Batuuan?
I'm a Batuuan.
Batuuan?
Yes.
Is there such thing as a Batuuian, or did I just make that up?
I think you just made that one up.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, then we'll move past that since I was wrong. Can you tell us how you got here to Batuu?
Well, born here.
You're born here?
Yeah, we take the transport in from where we're from, different parts of the planet. I come from a place called Gulma. Yeah. Yeah.
Where in the galaxy is Gulma?
Gulma's just on this planet. It's just
oh, okay.
Black Spire Outpost is the only place to come for work.
Right. So
Yeah.
you're pretty close to each other.
Yeah, about an hour and a half.
So from talking to Steven and other cast members coming up, we learned that there's cities outside of Black Spire Outpost, like Gulma.
But they're still on the planet of Batuu.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Gulma, Pika, and there's one
Sarabot.
Sarabot. Okay, yeah.
And they all come into Black Spire to work. And before talking to these people, I did not know that.
No. Yeah, super cool.
All right, now let's talk with Kelly, who gives us some background on the Black Spire.
So I've lived on Batuu my entire life, but here at Black Spire Outpost, we are actually standing right next to the Black Spire here. That is what our outpost community is named after. And these spires used to be big tall trees. So centuries, millions of years ago, they used to be big tall trees, super high in the sky. And then there was some cataclysmic event before we had any humans or any other wildlife or like creatures on planet that just completely raised and leveled everything. And after time has passed, they have now petrified. And so these are our spires. This is the Black Spire, though. Because we have so many around planet, this was kind of the best breeding ground for legitimate business to take place here. So we would say, hey, I'll meet you at the Black Spire, and we could do our legitimate business and then fly away safely. It's difficult to get around town and to get around the planet because all of the spires are so tall. You have to be a really good pilot to get through everything. So this just became the meeting place. So that's why Doc Rondar has literally set up shop next door, because he is like the main dealer in antiquities, is what we're going to call that, right? Old relics. If you need it, Doc will find it for you for a price. So we are here at the Black Spire Outpost.
Okay, so if we had never talked with Kelly, we wouldn't know about the Black Spire and why certain things are where they are. There's like so much story to this place.
And it's right next to Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities. It's the only petrified spire that is really blackened.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. Although there is a dark one by Oga's Cantina, but this one is darker.
Yeah, this is like a charcoal black. And on an upcoming YouTube video, we're going to learn that there's more legend behind this Black Spire and why it looks so dark and blackened.
But we're not going to tell you here.
Not right now.
Subscribe to YouTube.
Not right now.
See what I did there?
Yes, I did. You're cross-promoting. All right, now we're going to talk to Brooke. I believe Brooke was the very first girl we had talked to.
Yeah.
We shoved the camera in her face and said, okay, talk.
We were eating at Docking Bay 7 and she was cleaning up and we were like, we need to talk to you.
Yeah, and here she tells us about some of her passions and her hobbies.
I'm from Pika, and currently in my spare time I like to repurpose droids and help recover them. And then I also collect creatures of all sorts that have been abandoned, so I come and adopt them. I love the little crystal foxes. They are amazing. I love them.
So have you been to Crate, or did someone bring one back for you?
Someone has brought them in. We've got a lot of people coming in and bringing all sorts of different things.
Do you have a hoojib?
I don't. I've never heard of that.
Now, she's talking about collecting creatures and training them, and you know I got to bring up hoojibs.
Absolutely. Make hoojibs canon.
But she had a story that we hadn't heard from anyone else about adopting pets and creatures.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. So everyone you talk to will have a little a bend to their story, which they all should, because everyone comes from a different background.
Yeah, and I think cast members were told to kind of make their story part of the Batuu citizen story.
Right.
Just so it's easier to remember and things like that.
Right. And plus it's much more personal if it comes from them. Like coming up next, we talk to Thomas, who his character relates a lot with his own story, and yeah, kind of heart-wrenching here.
Thomas. All right, Thomas, tell us all about yourself.
Well, I was born to a family of 5 on Mandalore.
Are you Mandalorian?
I wouldn't say so. I'd say more it was a trip, and I was coincidentally born there.
Oh, okay.
So as a young child, I was brought over here to Batuu. I'm from Gama originally, and me and my brother always had this dream of traveling to Black Spire Outpost. However, right before that, my family was killed.
Oh no!
By a group of scrappers. No, my brother not.
Okay.
Not at that time.
Oh.
Yeah.
How? Why?
Well, it's just a group of scrappers looking for some scrap, and that's the way things roll here on Batuu.
When you say they're scrappers, like they like to fight?
No, scrappers looks like scrap metal.
Okay.
See, in Gama, it's more of a criminal-based scoundrel, if you will.
Oh.
And
do you know who did it?
I don't know exactly, but I have an idea.
Are you looking for them?
You could say that.
Okay.
So my brother and I, we started our journey here to Black Spire Outpost, and if you guys have been over by Savi's, there is a promise tree, or a
like a wishing tree, right?
Wishing tree, correct.
We've heard of this. Can you tell us more?
So there's a wishing tree. You put your wish on a ribbon, tie it to a branch, and when that falls out, your wish comes true. So my brother, unfortunately, we were caught by more scrappers on the way here.
Oh no!
And he did not make it through.
Oh.
He gave his life so that I could get here to Black Spire Outpost and be a guide to you wonderful off-worlders. So I like to honor his his wishing tree by me being here.
So that part of the story was interconnected with his life, that he did lose a brother.
Yeah.
So that was really, really saddening.
Really heartfelt. And he mentions here the wishing tree.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering where that is, it's in the Savi's workshop courtyard. And we will be, that Legends video that we're going to post will tell all about that wishing tree. And we spoke with even another Batuu citizen who had a lot to say about that. We won't hear from her here, but wait for that YouTube video.
And Savvy, he's the one who he's got the scrapyard, aka he builds lightsabers. So Savvy's workshop. And it all depends where you're coming from. Is it Savi? Is it Savvy? Could be either one.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like Han and Han.
Yeah,
anything in the Star Wars universe, Leia, Leah. Come on.
And this wishing tree is something that you might just pass right by, not even really notice. But once you do see it, it's right there, and it's got all these orange and blue ribbons on it. And that's when Batuu citizens and the locals will tie something to it, and when it disintegrates, your wish comes true.
And the wishing tree shows up in some upcoming novels for Galaxy's Edge, which is super cool. So everything's interconnected. It's amazing.
All right, now let's hear from Chanel.
My name is Chanel. I live over in Pica. I've lived here my entire life. My whole family are actually mechanics, so it just ran in my blood to be a mechanic as well. I heard that there is illegal pod racing going on over in Galma, so I am building my own pod so that I may earn some extra credits.
Pod racing!
I'm surprised she told us that, because she said it was illegal to be pod racing, and yet she's like, and I'm building a pod racer. It's like, shh.
She's young. She's like, just throws it all out there.
I suppose, but man, there were some First Order troopers who were wandering nearby. They could have overheard her.
I'm just so happy that there are so many Episode 1 and prequel nods in Galaxy's Edge. Like at Ronto Roasters, what roasts the Rontos is a pod racing engine.
Okay, the first day in Galaxy's Edge, yes, I teared up when I saw the Falcon, but then I saw that pod race engine and I teared up too. Because I was like, oh my god, it's live in person. This is how big it is. So a pod racer must be this big. Like in my head, I was like going nuts.
And she's the only one we spoke to who had a prequel nod to her story.
Indeed.
And the fact that she's building a pod racer, maybe we can do a follow-up on her later on.
Yeah.
Say, how's that pod coming?
She also was a lot younger than a lot of the other
Yeah, she was like 19
citizens,
at best.
Yeah, that we had talked to. So it makes sense that she would be a prequel fan.
Oh, very, very true. All right, Skywalkers, well, if you want to hear more stories, more in-depth stories, and if you want to see these Galaxy's Edge Black Spire Outpost locals, well, watch our YouTube video. Go over there to our YouTube channel, Skywalking Through Neverland. You can catch that one, and so many things we have there on Galaxy's Edge. Merchandising, a Galaxy's Edge 101. If you've never been there, you want to know what it's all about, the backstory of Black Spire Outpost, it's right there. And how long it's come within that first month.
Yes, and I have a whole Galaxy's Edge playlist there. So if you just click on that playlist, you can kind of scroll through and see what videos you want to watch.
And you know what? If there's anything that you want to see, Skywalkers, any angle on Galaxy's Edge, let us know. We're always there.
Yes.
We've been there 8 times already.
We plan to go back, so
let us know what you want to see there. After the Batuu Locals video, we're going to do one on the scandals and legends of Black Spire Outpost, and there's so many great stories around the Black Spire and around Olga's Cantina, the Wishing Tree. But what do you want to see? Let us know.
You can comment on this video, or you can let us know. You can send an email to share@skywalkingthroughneverland.com, or just find us on social media at skywalkingpod.
We want to hear from you. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Please, let us know.
Wherever you comment, you can find us. Well, that wraps up episode 253 of
Skywalking Through Neverland. We want to give a huge thanks to Miki Herman for coming on and sharing all of her great stories. And being locked inside of a C-3PO costume is not as fun as it sounds.
No.
And we want to thank all the Batuu locals who spend time with us and sharing their own stories.
We'd also like to thank all of you Skywalkers for listening. And we'd also like to thank our sponsor, Small World Vacations. Are you thinking of a trip to Galaxy's Edge now? So you can talk with the Batuu locals yourself? Well, you can fill out a Get a Quote form at smallworldvacations.com today. Their vacation planning service is free of charge, so check it out and tell them that Skywalking Through Neverland sent you. As a reminder, we have a ton of content on our YouTube channel with more coming. Look for the new Tale of the Lion King show and the new Inside Out Emotional Whirl attraction from DCA. We're going to do a DCA day, and both will be upcoming in July. We are also headed to San Diego Comic-Con, and we'll be checking out the Lucasfilm Pavilion on the show floor. Please check out all the rest of the shows on the Skywalking Network. Including the Culture Popcast and Sabers and Spells. You can find us all at skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
If you would like more Skywalking Through Neverland in your life, check out skywalkingforce.com and help support the ever-growing Skynet.
If you'd like to support us in a different way, please share the show with a friend, like this video, comment on any of our videos, or click the links to Pozu Shoes, Oppo Suits, or TeePublic on our website under the Support Us tab.
And stay tuned for Sarah's new Galaxy's Edge t-shirt coming your way. Skywalking Through Galaxy's Edge. Sarah, when is that coming?
It's coming soon because I also have to make buttons because we're running out of buttons. And whenever we go to Batuu, we bring buttons with us. And if anyone recognizes us, you get a button.
And you get a button. And you get a button.
Yes. Woo! We all get buttons. So I need to make a new design so that we can give out that design and it makes more sense.
And do you know what JediNews.co.uk and Fantatrax get?
What?
They get Skywalking Through Neverland. So if you're ever on those sites, you can find us there too. I tried to find a segue.
Okay.
Doesn't always work.
No, it didn't, but that's okay. We are also at Skywalking Pod for Twitter and Instagram, and you can join our Facebook group, which you know is amazing. So search Facebook for Skywalking Through Neverland group and request to join and answer the questions that pop up. You can also email us, share@skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
And please, everyone, we want to ask you to go over there to Apple Podcasts and Stitcher and leave us a review. Always love to hear what you think.
Now stay tuned for lots of bloopers and other fun conversation right after these credits.
And always remember, till the spire!
And
Neverland on Alderaan. Some imagination, huh?
To our Skywalkers and Tweetwalkers, thanks for listening. Skywalking Through Neverland is created and produced by Richard and Sarah Woloski. Original music by Rob Dellinger. Creative consultant Mark Augushowitz. Technical advisor Peter Heitman. Facebook administrators Donald Wicks, Joey Pittman, and Norma Heitman.
Skywalking Through Neverland is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Any sounds, music, and clips played during this podcast are the property of their copyright holders. All original content is property of Skywalking Through Neverland, all rights reserved. Sorry, had to be said. Yes.
Oh!
Our YouTube camera just went down.
Sorry, YouTube. Hold on.
Did the battery run out?
Hold on.
Hold on.
No, it shouldn't have. I just charged it. Hold on. It needs to reconnect.
I think
Get ready to eat.
The YouTube gimbal camera just felt the aftershock of the earthquake.
Yeah. There's our own special earthquake right there.
This thing's on a delayed reaction.
Yeah. Whoa.
Like an hour and a half.
All right, I hope it doesn't do that again, but if it does, well. Okay, there we go.
Do I need to sing again? Shout out.
No, please
don't. A shout out. Oh, that is so
You
mean.
asked for that. Come on.
Come on. All right, go ahead.
All right.
Neverland.
No, the music will do that.
It was one of those impulses.
Oh, thanks, Matt. Thanks, Jeff. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah. Lots of fun. Why? Because you guys are here with us.